Can't get the video up. Yeah. All right, folks, welcome to a very, very special edition of On the Ice Box with Iceberg Bricks. It's your boy Iceberg. Today's a very special show. My man Ozzie in the house. You like him, I love him. We all enjoy his builds, which are 80 themed builds. Does a very, very big part in the Lego community as far as his artistic builds. And we're going to dive into that. We're going to dive in the mind of Ozzie Bricks. Without further ado, folks, here's your boy, Ozzie Bricks. What's going on, brother?
How are we? Everyone good?
All right. What's going on in your side of town, my brother?
Not much. It's 11 p.m. here. So I'm here finally on the Icebox after how many seasons you've been running this now? I finally got an invitation.
You gotta say the best. You gotta say the best, you know.
It's all good.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. I do. So, man, what's new in your neighborhood, man? As far as Lego and business, man.
Lego. It's taken obviously just refining the city. I'm on a new stage on Lego, which is detailing the city now.
Okay.
And finalizing the final builds of the mocks I really wanted to build. So there's a museum going in. Believe, well, there was plans to have something else in there, but now it looks like it's going to be the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Okay.
And then I'm going to have a agents building going in there as well. So it's going to be kind of like a federal agents building where all the ultra agents and stuff like that are going to be housed. And so it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, the detailing is, who would have thought, it's the most expensive part of Lego.
Yeah.
Never would have thought it, but you know.
Yeah, very true, man. Very true.
It's even more expensive than custom minifigs.
Yeah.
So like it's something that I got to get used to, I guess. Just spending heaps of money on Bricklink.
Yeah, Bricklink, man, they make out like a bandit, man. It's our poor hobby, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately. Haytan Bricks is here, and so he's really happy with me at the moment because I keep on placing orders with him.
So yeah, he said to say hello, man. He was checking us out on Instagram, man. He was checking us out on the gram. So yeah, man.
I think I'm funding a new extension of his house or something by the look of it.
I definitely got to get a Bricklink store. I got to get my hands on some bricks and get, because that's where the business at. It ain't Wall Street. It's Lego.
Yeah, my problem is I can't part with the brick. After I've got the brick, I can't part with it. So
yeah, that's tough. It's tough. Hey man, so I mean, the $1 million question is how'd you get into Lego? Was it a youth thing, or were you late bloomer like myself?
Look, I'll there's a few of the AFOLs that already know my backstory, but I may as well let everyone know now. So I got into it as a kid. I got into it probably about 5 years old, 6 years old. There was a Lego set, a Lego police station in the 80s that was released. And that was given to me as a birthday present, and I was just hooked.
Mm-hmm.
and I actually built a Lego city. I had road plates and everything. I actually had a miniature Lego city that was about the size of a kitchen table. Um,
Okay.
and I really I remember like zoning in and just focusing on the Lego and not caring about anything else around me.
Okay.
And one of the big reasons was that my dad was um, it's the best way to put it.
Okay.
Um, he was quite abusive,
Mm-hmm.
so he used to beat me up quite a bit. So
Mm-hmm.
by zoning out and forgetting about what was going on, it was um, yeah, it was therapeutic almost.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had Lego to get me through all that. So I
Yeah.
think that's what sparked it, and then I all of a sudden stopped,
Mm-hmm.
and then had my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought her for her first birthday present a Lego City police station
Ah, all
for her
right.
first birthday present. And as everyone knows, the ages are 6 and up, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I built that one.
This gift to keep on giving, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure you got a photo of that one. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. If folks don't know, well, people know.
yeah.
Actually, I get excited when talking to Ozzy because Ozzy is an inspiration to me. And actually, that police station that I copied from Ozzy was my very first Lego build outside of the box build, which was the Batmobile. So, being ex law enforcement, I gravitated toward that building that he did because it was magnificent. That's what a to me, that's what a police station should look like. Not this that stuff that came in the box. So, you know, yeah.
It's I did my best to build a legit police station that didn't have no more bricks written all over it. So um,
Right.
I didn't want to copy Harold, and I definitely didn't want to copy Jang, even though everyone told me that they were bagging me out, saying it looked like Jang's hospital. Um,
Oh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
yeah, but if you had a look at my plans were written before Jang's. So there you go.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
you
No,
know.
you told me something that I need to be mad about. I didn't even know No More had a police station. I got a riff to start with. I'm gonna put him right on the ice on the free zone for that.
He
I
had
didn't even.
he has a police station that looks
Mhm.
exactly the same as Jangs's police station. So
Yeah.
I used to always give him shit about that. So
Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah,
put them right on the free zone, man. So, tell me how you would describe your work now. I know that you catch on to a lot of 80 themes, and that's and I really that's like opening almost like a history book, for some of the young kids that don't get to see the stuff that happened in the 80s. So tell me, how do you describe your work, your Lego work?
yeah. Look, I'm a child of the '80s. Um, very much my city is what I wanted my city to be when I was a kid.
Hmm.
Um, so everything that when people look at my city updates, that's pretty much what I wanted my city to look like. I wanted to have an airport.
Hmm.
Um, I wanted to have a monorail. Mind you, I've got a monorail. I just haven't built it. But yeah, I wanted to have all these things. I wanted to have trains and all that type of stuff, and have a full on city and immerse myself in it. So the city is a cesspool of everything I love. So
Hmm.
whether it be GI Joe, um, police, military,
Hmm.
um, Marvel comics, DC comics,
Hmm.
to a lesser extent. I'm a big Marvel comic nut. I'm not as much a DC comic nut, but
Okay.
Star Wars, um, Rick and Morty.
Hmm.
So I've got a bit of everything in there. There's a lot of '80s things. So I've got Miami Vice going in there. I've got um, a lot of those '80s TV shows that I grew up watching. I've got going in there as well. So
Okay.
I'm really big into that. I've got Ferris Bueller going on in
Ah,
there as well. So I picked up Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
So I'm happy
Okay.
about that. But yeah,
Classic.
it's just a mix. It's very much a mix of everything that I grew up wanting and grew up playing with, and what made me who I am, and that's what the city is. It's a reflection of what I grew up around. So
Right.
and not to mention, I like pissing people off when I mix it all up. Um, a lot of
Hmm.
people think that stormtroopers shouldn't be driving around in, you know, cars like this. So you know, I like pissing people off. What can I say? You know,
It's Ozzie world, man. It's Ozzie world. Wouldn't
exactly,
be the thing without it, man.
exactly. So yeah.
Learn Brick said you got to get that Don Johnson sig fig.
Oh, he's got to send me a link for that.
So you tell me about any lugs that you belong to. Do you do any collaborative builds, or you like most likely the Lone Ranger when you build and
Oh,
go to
look,
show?
I'm very much a lone wolf.
Okay.
Uh, I've worked once with Dub,
Hmm.
which we exhibited in Canberra. Um,
Hmm.
reality is that he's probably the only person I would ever work with ever
Right.
again, and that's just purely going on the friendship that me and him have.
Hmm.
Um, if distance wasn't the issue, I'd definitely be working with CKB.
Hmm.
Um, but distance is an issue there. Um,
Right.
but apart from that, lugs. I've tried out the lug thing. I did my
Mhm.
best for it. Turned up there, and um, it wasn't for me. That's probably the nicest way I can say it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to sling too much mud, but yeah, it wasn't for me.
Right.
Um, yeah, it's just those cats and I didn't get along. So yeah, it's
Okay.
it
Okay.
wasn't. Yeah, I don't like bowing down to other people's demands. So yeah,
Right. Yeah. Same here, man. You know, I hate taking orders, man. It's probably why I'm a rogue. So.
yeah.
So you build? Do you build with your daughter, right? You influence her to Lego,
Well, both my daughters actually.
right?
So when I build, like they sit there giving me ideas. I let them stage the city now. Um,
Hmm.
um, there's some areas of the city that are so narrow
Hmm.
that I can't get up into the city in some zones. So my daughters actually go through and they'll stage in those areas, and they've been doing a lot of the retiling in certain zones where I can't get to,
Right.
uh, which helps. That helps a little bit. Um, they love the city. They love seeing their friends' reactions whenever they first come over to the house and they see it for the
Hmm.
first time.
Hmm.
So they're at that age where they realize that they've got something that other kids don't have, and
Right.
I think they're starting to realize that it's a little bit special that their dad's uh, still playing with toys.
Right. Right.
Whereas other kids' parents, like might be sitting there going for a drink to a bar or something, or going out, watching watching sports or whatever, and there I am, and I'm happy as a pig in shit building Lego. You
Right.
know,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
so
Okay.
yeah, so it's bonding time with them, which I like quite a bit.
Mhm.
Um, I get to show them, what I used to do as a kid, and yeah, they love it. They absolutely love it. So yeah,
Awesome deal. Awesome. So, as you said, building is absolutely therapeutic for you. Even as a younger kid, you use it as a coping mech. Um, and
yeah.
um, and even today, so that seems to be true. Tell me, has your love for Lego persevered you through a difficult situation in your adulthood? You care to share?
No, 100%. Like from um, if I'm in an argument with my wife or someone, I'll go down into the Lego room and just
Hmm.
build. I'll just zone out. I feel like that kid again, that was trying to hide from my dad. So,
Hmm.
I zone out that way.
Right.
um, to other points where I'm really, really having a bad day from um, teaching. So from when you're teaching and you actually have to get in a fight with someone in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
it's it you get an adrenaline rush. You got to get rid of the adrenaline. It's not
Mm-hmm.
all spent. You're still too aggressive. You can't be aggressive around the kids and around the family. So
Mm-hmm.
you go down into the Lego and just zone in, and away you go. That's the way I use it.
Mm-hmm.
I use it to calm down. It's very much a therapeutic tool for me. Um,
Okay.
I've been told that it's probably one of the main reasons why I'm not in jail right now. So, because I don't know what I'd be capable of if I didn't have that type of outlet. So,
Right.
yeah, so it's good to have that outlet just to let off a little bit of steam and um, you know find that
Mm-hmm.
that zen that the zen space, if that makes sense. Because I
Yeah.
do calm down very, very quickly at the moment there's bricks in front of me. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Tell me, man, what was your most you had many projects, but what was your most difficult project that you you
Avengers
and
Tower.
you and doing?
Avengers
Yeah?
Tower. Yeah, just straight away. Avengers Tower.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. From building technique to size to how tall it is to the fact that the brief always was to be able to support a full-grown Quinjet, not a baby
Mhm.
Quinjet or a mini Quinjet. I know a lot of the photos that I've got out there are all of baby Quinjets on it, but
Mhm.
the fact is, um, I had a full-grown Quinjet in most of my city updates on it for a good
Mhm.
2 3 months. So I definitely proved it could hold it.
Okay.
And trust me, I didn't go up on the table to remove it each time after a city update because I can't be stuffed doing things like that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it can definitely hold the weight. Um,
Okay.
but it was a big task buying all the brick. Um, it was my first ever Bricklink orders that build.
Mhm.
Before that, I used to do mocks through eBay. I
Okay.
used to I used to buy my bricks through eBay, and I didn't even know about Bricklink.
Yeah.
It was only until I met the likes of people like Bricksmith and Big B and um, Down Under Bricks and Zany
Mhm.
Bricks and all that. And kept on hearing everyone talking about this Bricklink. I'm going, what the hell are these guys talking about? And
Right.
finally, I Googled it one day and I went, shit, I've been paying 10 times the amount. so,
You've been duped. You've been duped.
so, yeah, I was pretty pissed off after I figured out
Yeah.
like I could have saved so much money. But yeah, it is what it is. What do you do?
That's when
So
you go out and you got to sneak out and go find somebody and tell them that they overcharge and then give them some payback. That's what you do.
yeah, yeah, I know, but I figured a learning experience. Thank goodness I didn't. It was only like a year after getting the bug again that I found that out.
Hmm.
Thank God it wasn't a lot later. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I know I probably know the answer, but you tell me which one of your builds is your most prized possession?
Look, the Avengers Tower is definitely up there. The
Right. Right.
police station
Hmm.
is definitely up there because
Okay.
the police station always had a close. Um, it was always something very sentimental to me. Um,
Hmm.
it was something that it was my first ever build as a kid. Um,
Hmm.
it was my first set going back out of the dark ages. It was the first build that I did as an AFOL. So building a really good police station for my city was really important to me. And not
Uh-huh.
only was it important to me, I wanted to really do it right. I wanted to do it justice. So like I like to think that I did a good job on it. I think I did anyway, because every time I look at it, I smile to this day.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, so the fact that I've got that reaction every time I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I must have done something right.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Whereas the Avengers Tower is just something on pure scale. I
Mhm.
wanted to, I remember going up to like 8 stories, and I went, fuck it, let's go to 12. And
Okay.
then,
Okay.
so,
Right. Right. Yeah.
I just went, fuck it, let's go bigger, go
Right.
hard or go home. And I think I ended up going up to 13 or something in the
Wow.
end, like,
Yeah.
so, like, it's just, the Avengers Tower was just a statement, it's just a pure statement, like, hey, I'm here, and not only am I here, I'm not going to copy what everyone else is doing. I'm going to do
Right.
a
Right.
completely different design that has nothing to do with what anyone else thought of. Um,
Right.
my take on what the Avengers Tower should be, not what a guy who draws comics thinks the Avengers Tower should look like.
Right.
So, yeah.
You
Yeah,
definitely hit the mark on it, man. You definitely hit the mark on it on the scale size, and even the map out, the layout, the whole layout, and we'll look into depth with it over the PowerPoint slide. But tell me, what was your most memorable interaction you had with your Lego hobby, and someone that you maybe had with, you know.
Um, the most memorable, it would probably be, um, there's a few, but one of the most memorable ones would be my daughter
Hmm.
smiling when she first noticed that the trains actually moved, and like she lost her shit. When I mean she lost her shit, she actually, like, she used to wear nappies then, and
Uh-huh.
she dropped the deuce, like, seeing it. Like, that's how that's how excited she got. So it was, um, yeah, she got really excited. I didn't think that. Yeah, that's when I knew, like, she was definitely my kid. Um,
Right. Right.
because it was actually one of the first times I got to see the trains move for the first time, because I never had any Lego trains as a kid. So,
Uh-huh.
the first time I brought them to life. So it was exciting. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, man, that is awesome. Awesome story, man. Well, you survived the 15 questions, man. You survived it. So now we
There
get to
you
the
go.
fun part. We get to the fun part. Folks, if you're just tuning in, my guest this morning is, or this evening, is Ozzie Bricks, the infamous Ozzie Bricks, down in Australia. So this is the second half of the show where we actually dive into the mind of the creativity of Ozzie Bricks through the PowerPoint slide presentation. So, and we'll do this here. There we go. All right, all right. Took me a little time, man, because I had a lot of favorites, and you end up with like almost 100 pictures, but you got to narrow it down to the top few. So how'd you come up with the sig fig?
I came up with another sig fig when I first started, and I sat there thinking about it and going, "That's not me. Like,
Hmm.
that's just not me."
Hmm.
So, I went back to the drawing board, and I just went, all right, I need some black pants. And so I thought, yeah, why not? I'll get these black pants from the TIE fighter pilot. Um, so I got those, and then I went through all these torsos, and I saw that the Rebels indoor set, um, so the Star Wars, sorry, um, Rebel Soldier Endor Trooper, um, was pretty good. So I just went, yeah, that's the torso.
Okay.
Um, that pretty much covers me down pat. And then, you know,
Right.
believe it or not, the mouthpiece. Why have I got a microphone? Well, very simple. I just couldn't find a head with stubble on it back then.
Hmm.
I wasn't that good at bricklink, so
Hmm. Kind
so
of stuck. Yeah, you picked
so
one and it's stuck. Yeah.
so I picked the one that the first one I saw was stubble and happened to
Hmm.
have a microphone, so it kind of stuck after that. So I just went, yeah,
Right.
why not? So um, it is what it is. Yeah, um,
Gotcha.
can't be copied, that's for sure.
No,
So
no, man. Definitely, definitely original, man. Definitely original. Definitely. All right. So tell us about this photo here. It looks like this is like one of your first photos. And tell us about what we're seeing here, and
yeah,
this would be
that's
the
the
beginning, right?
first. That is the beginning outside of the Dark Age.
Okay.
So in that back corner, you can kind of see the old police station there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I basically bought everything. I bought sets. I didn't. I wasn't really thinking about building mocks at that stage.
Hmm.
Um, so I basically built the police station, and then I kept on adding levels to it. So
Oh,
that police
okay.
station there was actually three police stations, believe it or not,
Uh.
already. So I was already trying to make the police station very big. Um,
Hmm.
So I already had a soft spot for it. The layout itself was terrible. It was horrible. It didn't work. There was no organization to that layout of that first city. But you know what? It was in the garage. It was fun. Um, you know, got to play with it a bit and yeah,
Yeah.
get the bug back. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it's definitely a great learning point. I could see, I could see where it comes from. And like you said, it takes. I guess it takes time to get the ebb and flow of a city, and but yeah, it's a great learning point for you.
Mm.
This is a another photo you have here. I guess this is from the beginning as well. When you said
Yeah,
you said develop.
yeah, that's when the city actually moved, so it was starting to get a little bit cleaner, that one. Um,
Hmm.
and I had a thing like the Coast Guard theme had come out around that time. It was around 2014 or 2013,
Hmm.
and I just went, you know what? I've got to buy every single back catalog of Lego City as well. So that's what I did. The first 2 years of my Out of the Dark Ages, I bought the entire Lego City back catalog.
Hmm.
Um, So I've got every single Lego City set um, from 2010 onwards. Um,
Okay.
so a pretty big thing,
Yeah.
to have that, and it was very expensive too.
Yeah.
Um, but it was. I think I needed to satisfy myself, and
Hmm.
but by doing that, I eventually went. You know what? Some of these sets aren't that good. And that's where maybe the top 10 worst sets, started popping up into my head. That
Yeah.
maybe Lego don't build good stuff all the time. So, I was starting to grow up a little and get out of that whole kids zone by doing that. But yeah, that um, I completely parted that Coast Guard. Um, uh, I forget what it's even called now. That set that's there. But that Coast Guard set that you see right there at the front of that photo, I parted that out. That's all
Okay.
pieces, or it's other things. Those struts are actually the struts I'm using for the Avengers Tower.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. It came
that's
in
how
good handy.
really. Yeah, yeah, it came handy anyway. So
A great tear down is a good build up too. So, hey, rest
yeah,
in peace, Toys R Us, man. So, yeah, I like this build here. The Toys R Us. I got to hurry up and get mine since Toys R Us is closing.
yeah. So that was an eBay build from Brick Builders Pro. So the
Okay.
Brick Builders Pro had a um, what's it called? They had the instructions and everything. Someone had actually put all the bricks together for that build. So I bought the eBay thing. I think I spent like they saw me coming. paid something like $400 or $500 for it, and it didn't even have the window panels for it. I had to buy the window panels for that build. Um, so like I really got ripped off with that build, but um,
Yeah.
I really liked the idea of having a Toys R Us in the city. I
Hmm.
really liked it, so I just went, you know what, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna fix it up, and yeah, I did my little take on it as well. There was supposed to be a clock tower above it.
Hmm.
I didn't do that. I just
Okay.
left it exactly how you see it there.
Right.
So I think it looks nicer. I haven't seen anyone else's cities with one
Right.
like that anyway. I changed a little bit to it to make it mine. Um,
Hmm.
but now I think I'm going to have to change it to Toys Were Us because that's what everyone's voted for
Oh,
on
that's
the city
awesome.
update. Yeah, so
Right. Right.
it's going to have to be
Right.
Toys Were Us. Yeah,
Right.
so
Were. Yeah, yeah. And I think that's awesome. You brought a good point. Like, some folks overspend. We say they overspend, or sometimes you be like, yeah, I kind of pay too much. But in the end, it's a hobby. If it makes you happy, you can't really put a price on it.
yeah,
Um,
exactly,
you
exactly.
know. So all right, so here we looking into sort of your city area a bit. One of your earlier photos, I believe.
Yeah,
And you got some of your crew hanging out there with you down below.
yeah. So I figured out really early on that I could fit two trains if I had one elevated. So
Hmm.
in that layout, so straight away just I bought as many struts as I could and just elevated track,
Hmm.
um, and just put it all throughout the city. Um, so that worked pretty well. It worked pretty well. But one thing I really didn't like about it was the fact that it kind of closed off the city to
Hmm.
the person standing and observing the city from the outside.
Hmm.
So I didn't want to have that problem again. So I moved away from that.
Okay.
But you know what? It looked good. It looked good. It's just it did make it. It kind of made an obstruction.
Hmm.
It was kind of like a wall around the city by having it. So I just thought, yeah, it's probably best I don't do that again.
Right.
Uh,
Okay. Okay.
but that
Okay.
was fun. Yeah,
All right. And here's a city layout of the pre Vengeance Tower, Ozzie Town. So.
yeah, yeah. That takes me back.
A good
Yeah. So
panorama. You got a lot going on too. I mean, like you right here in your earliest stage. I mean, you could tell you're a real avid fan back then. And
yeah, like there was still a lot of blank spaces in the city back then,
hmm. Hmm.
uh, but the moment I put that airport in, I remember thinking, you know what, I'm starting to really dig this. This is gonna be pretty special.
Right.
So um, and I basically modded the airport, which I'm sure you're going to talk about very soon anyway. So I'm not going to
Mhm.
steal your thunder with that, but yeah, I was really happy with it. I started building extra carriages for the trains, so the trains were all four carriages instead of three. Uh,
Gotcha. Yep, I see that. Yep.
you know, um, there were lots of things that I did. Like the joke back then was actually that the harbour was so busy, that the city wasn't, but the harbour was busy. That was the
Yeah.
joke. What everyone didn't realize was that the joke was on them because my plan was to make everything fucking busy. So
Right.
so
You distracted them while you building. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
but back then everyone used to go, "Wow, could you fit any more sharks in there?" And I went, "Yeah, I could." So the joke was always how many sharks I could put into a Lego City update. Um,
Right.
so
Oh, that's
yeah,
pretty cool. Yeah. Little digging. That's all. Little digging. I think here's a closer shot of your city here, and it's looking good. You can see certain, and what I like is that you're progressing here. Like it might be a couple buildings you did yourself, but here you stuck with some of the store bought stuff, but you modded them out just a bit, so you can see the progression of you becoming an avid mocker.
Yeah, so it was also the first, like that was pre the elevated rail as well. So
Hmm.
um, there were a lot of mods that I was doing back then,
Hmm.
and um, I remember when I first got back into the hobby, I remember looking at the modulars and going, "I'll never buy those."
Hmm.
And I bought the town hall, and
Right.
after building the town hall, I went, "Ah, shit! I've got to buy them all now." So, so yeah, it was kind of like that. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, that's true because they give you that box where they stick two more on it because they want you to buy the next two, and then you end up with a whole block, and then you got to go buy the next three.
exactly, exactly. So, yeah,
Also, it look like your city getting a little bit busy here.
yeah. That was post Christmas because that's when I moved the Toys R Us over to the back
Hmm.
that year. So I remember that. I remember that move that I did.
Hmm.
I changed the layout a little bit more and
Hmm.
started refining it. Started looking a little bit better.
Right.
That one.
Okay. Okay. You got the Star Wars invasion of the town going on there. See the shuttle? Is that the shuttle back
Yeah,
behind the town
that's the
hall?
Imperial. Yeah, that's the Imperial
Yeah.
shuttle. Everyone was talking about um, the battle packs back then, like the
Hmm.
Stormtrooper battle packs, and I just went, you know what, I'm going to buy some battle packs, and I ended up buying, I think, 12, and
Okay.
the Stormtroopers invaded. Basically, like that was it. Like it was over. Like the city had no chance after that. So
Okay. Okay.
it became a Star Wars city.
All right, and we just forwarding it just a little bit. You can see your town here has changed with the Adventure Towers, of course.
Yeah,
Just a glimpse into the future, just a bit. So as you can see, his city has progressed it from a small hobby into what a dynamic city should be.
yeah. So, but by that stage, I'd um, modded up that car park that you see there. The car park
Yeah.
was completely modded up by that stage.
Hmm.
Um, I think I was working on the hospital then. I don't know if the hospital, yeah, actually, the hospital would have been built then as well.
Hmm.
Um, the fire station wasn't, I don't think, but
Hmm.
the Avengers Tower had, um, it was definitely a statement piece. I always remember walking into that room and like that was the
Hmm.
first thing you saw. And, but I must admit, I was very nervous, like walking in and maybe seeing that the Quinjet maybe had broken the landing pad. Um, when I put a full grown Quinjet on there, the first couple of months were well, I was a bit nervous.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Hey, Bones is in the chat. He said hell froze over. Oh, oh, more Star Wars invasion in here. I like that you use the troopers. The troopers is like to me I see them as the like would be like the National Guard where they just take over the city. So I like
Yeah,
that. I like that concept.
the way I see it, like a trooper needs to still watch movies. He needs to go eat a kebab. He needs to you know, go to a doctor every now and then.
Yeah.
He needs to go to the beach and have some fun.
Right.
Uh, it's not all on a imperial, star destroyer.
Right.
So,
Right.
that's why I had fun with it. So, yeah,
Good deal, man. Good deal. Yeah, so that's that panoramic shot. Yeah, I see what you mean about, limiting the like putting a border around the city. So, that kind of limits you just a bit. I see what you mean
yeah. It just took a lot of the detail away, and
there.
I
Hmm.
didn't like that. So, yeah, I was really starting to hate it, and I was really starting to hate like posing the figs and constantly um, hitting the track.
Hmm.
It really made it difficult to work around the city.
Hmm.
So yeah, it became quite a nuisance for me.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. So here we're going to talk about your airport, and this was like the first stage of your airport, way before you evolved it into the international airport.
Yeah.
Um, at this point, you lay down your plan for your airport. What is the main goal? What are you trying to achieve at this point?
Um, I had some planes. I wanted somewhere to put them.
Hmm.
That was my main goal.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it's simple.
yeah, yeah, and everyone just ignore the
The
HK.
joystick, yeah, the joystick you got in the back. I was about to get you about that joystick in the back.
Yeah, yeah, everyone ignore the HK in the corner. Um, but
But that's pretty cool though, because like you're into military type stuff, and what you do is that's one of you, I would say, not a hobby but more like a lifestyle that it influence your hobby of Lego, because you actually incorporate a lot of military stuff inside of your builds now, like the tanks, the Apaches and all that stuff. You
mm,
incorporate, and you have ebb and flow with it, so it doesn't stick out at all.
yeah, so I'll try and make the city all make sense and fit all these different themes inside, and that's probably
Hmm.
one of the biggest challenges. But like, for those that know me, obviously I do, one of my jobs happens to be teaching military and law enforcement guys
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
how to fight hand to hand combat.
Hmm.
So it carries through in the city. You tend to see it there. So
Right. Right. So here's another shot of it. Now you get your vehicles in there. You got the the airport fire rescue in there as well, and it's starting to flow a bit.
yeah, well, I'd bought the two fire engines back in when I had the in that first photo
Hmm.
in the garage.
Hmm.
Um, so I had them back then, and
Hmm.
I really wanted, and I also already owned two airports. Um, so I already had the stuff there. So the plan was, well, let's put it all together. Let's um, let's make a completely enclosed airport
Hmm.
using this layout. And yeah, I think that's what I did in the
Right.
next one. Anyway, I think you've probably got a photo of that. Yeah, there it is. Um, there you go.
Right. Yeah. See, and like you got and let me see if I can find it. You got, oh, that's the Big Bang. Um, you got a lot of, it was another photo you had where you have quite a few airplanes, aircrafts you got, and like you got different styles of aircraft as well too, like you don't stick to just one model.
No, I've got a lot. Yeah, it's a joke. When I said that I bought every single Lego City set, I've bought every single Lego City set.
Yeah.
You know, when I do a top 10 worst, I say it out of someone who's bought every single Lego City set. Um,
Uh-huh.
so someone who's got a good right to be pissed off.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. So you pull away from your original build, and you decide to
Yeah.
go I don't hate to say real airport, but like an international, more like an elaborate build, more like elaborate. Um um so tell us
Yeah.
about this your evolve of this new endeavor.
Well, Brick Builders Pro had plans for
Hmm.
this airport, and it was only for the fascia. So
Hmm.
it was only for basically the first 8 studs from the build going backwards, and
Okay.
that was it.
Hmm.
The plans were sold and marketed as almost as if it was completely enclosed,
Hmm.
completely modular. Um, so there was a little bit of fuckery in the way
Yeah.
they advertised it.
Right.
Uh, I was quite upset when I actually got the plans and I opened them. I remember when I opened them for the first time, I had sent them to Harold, and Harold was just laughing because he noticed before I did. that it was, that it wasn't a mod, it wasn't a mock, completely enclosed. It was just, a fascia.
Right.
So, I had my work cut out for me. Um, the techniques they used were absolutely horrendous, so I had to reinforce pretty
Mm-hmm.
much. Um, Pretty much everything that you see there was reinforced, because it was crap. I couldn't believe that they had used these techniques that made it fall apart every 5 seconds. So,
Right.
um, very intricate, but, very shit. So, yeah, I did that. Worked on interiors for it, which
Mm-hmm.
again they didn't have it in the instructions, and,
Oh.
um, yeah, fleshed it all out to the point where we basically had, an international airport with two terminals and
Mm-hmm.
one cargo terminal, and a big cargo terminal at that. It's, wasn't
Right.
just a cargo terminal; it was a big one. So, um, yeah, I was really happy with it. I thought it was a really good build in the end.
Yeah,
After
definitely, man. You definitely you more than modded out. You improved their you improved their shit. You improved it.
look,
Especially like you
I'm
said.
Yeah, as far as I know, I'm the only moron out there who built that plan that they did,
Hmm.
because I haven't seen anyone else build it.
Yeah, I
Like,
haven't
even
seen it.
even they didn't build it. Like, they're not that stupid. So I think I'm the only schmuck out there that actually built it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it is
Sometimes
what it
you take an L to to evolve, man. You definitely evolved that build, man. I guess you didn't waste your money. In other words, because you made it work for you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Takes up a hell of a footprint, but yeah,
So now you move on to your which would be one of your starships, which is the Envision's Tower. Tell us
yeah.
tell us the direction you were trying to take us.
All right. So here, this was, pre the big mistake. And the big mistake that I made here was two 16 by 16s,
Okay.
um, and one 16 by 32.
Hmm.
Uh, Now, I got up to, I think, 6 or 8 stories. And as I tried
Hmm.
moving it, the 16 by 16s kept falling off.
Okay.
So I had to, um, tear it all down again and start from scratch.
Hmm.
So it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. Um,
I believe it. I believe it. So here you this was this before the teardown or was this
no,
after?
that is pre tear down.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
That's a
that is
lot.
yeah, that is pre tear down. That's why it's so funny.
Oh.
Uh,
That's
why
enough
do
to
you,
rip your hair out.
why do you think the doorway looks so different in that
Right.
photo compared to what it
Oh
looks like?
yeah. Oh man. Yeah, you're right. I'd have been mad, man. I'd have probably walked away.
Yeah,
I'd probably walked away.
there's a reason why it took 8 months.
Yeah. I'd
Yeah,
have probably definitely walked away from it. I'd have been like, ah, yeah, okay. Yeah. Here's the evolution of that.
yeah,
Wait a
and
minute. So
again,
that's
we're still pre tear down.
oh my God. Yeah, I'd have walked away, bro. I'd have built something else, man. No way. Because you're getting a lot of this detail in here, and like you said, it's not working for you, so you got to tear it down and start
Yeah,
again. Yeah,
and that's where, up that's post tear down.
right, right,
Yeah, so you can see the big difference at the bottom.
right. And
Yeah,
kudos, you kept the same layout. I mean, you kept the same layout, but like you said, you swapped that bottom out to and you actually reinforce a little bit here, right where the you see the figs. Yeah, so I see that. Yeah, yeah, you got the yeah. Quite a comeback, man. I'd have never recovered from that.
yeah,
I'd have never recovered.
yeah. There was a big gap between those two, so that was a big gap. It didn't happen overnight, that stuff. So yeah,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You said like, if this was pre tear down, yeah, I'd have been done with Lego altogether. Cause what some folks don't understand is like you put your hopes, you put your dreams, because you trying to make something. So It's just like baking a cake and you go to open the oven and it's all flat. It's
Mm.
emotional. It gets emotional. So when you gotta tear it down or if it falls on you, it gets emotional. So um, yeah, but you put a very elaborate detail inside of these builds here, and we'll definitely take a look at it. Here, what inside it? Tell us the direction you were going inside of this Avengers Tower. What did you want it to display?
Well, Lego's Dimensions had just come out, and I just figured, you know what, I want to have a bit of fun with it, and I've always been someone who, in my Lego Cities updates, I've always had a bit of a story to tell,
Hmm.
uh, what's been going on in the city, and I wanted to have a bit of fun with dimensions things. So I just thought, you know what, it didn't really take to it, but some people did it, and I basically said, you know, um, I've got a Dimensions Tower set in the Avengers Tower. If you put in a Dimension set in one of your builds, that way my Iron Man can get into your city and protect your city and stuff like that. So it was
Right.
just it was a weird idea, but you know what? Even though the idea sucked,
Hmm.
um, it was a good. I think it's a good eye-catching piece that just having it there um, above all the suits.
Right. Yeah. I
You
mean, it
know,
definitely, it
it's a
definitely
nice
looked
look.
like to me. It looks almost like the arc reactor, or it could be even
Yeah.
passed off as the arc reactor. But yeah, man. I mean, that's a definitely good concept because Stark was all about technology, and you know about Stark. So
Mm. Yeah, so I thought it fitted anyway. So in the
yeah,
theme, I
definitely.
just kept it through. But
Hmm.
one of the big things I wanted to make sure was that I had heaps of Iron Man suits,
Hmm.
and just yeah, I needed to have as many suits as possible to fill out the set,
Right.
to fill out the build. Sorry, and I needed to have as many shield operatives as possible as well. So
Yeah.
that was the next criteria that I needed to fill.
Okay. And one thing about this build here is very, very spacious, so you can put more detail inside. I definitely give that, give the kudos to you, for definitely, laying that out, because you definitely use all your space inside, as far as the detail inside of your tower here.
Hmm.
And see that, and that's what a lot of people, I guess, for the new viewer of, viewing your YouTube channel, they see they see your city and see all the magnificent builds, but there's a lot and there's stories that go inside of Ozzy's builds, and we're going to get to it. I think the police station definitely tells a story. I enjoyed that video because it's a lot that's going on inside of that police station. And so, like, even like with this build here, it's a lot that goes on the side.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on inside that Avengers Tower. I've got a mad professor who's chopping up Chima. Um, I've got um, I've got cells in there. I've got um, every pretty much every single Iron Man suit I could get hold of.
Right,
Um, I've got um, a firing range with one of the soldiers going up with a shoulder fired missile, and the
hmm,
RO trying to stop him because obviously it's confined space that's not going to work well.
right.
Um, I've I've got the Citizen Brick Alpha and Omega computer um, level, which is basically just nothing but computer terminals because I figured, you know what, a big tower like this needs a level that is just the server room.
You know,
Um,
those are expensive pieces too, because I bought how many did I buy? I think I bought like 30 of them,
yeah,
and
they're
for my
expensive.
yeah, they're expensive just for one.
Yeah,
I'm thankful for them. I appreciate them. That's why I bought them, but
yeah,
they will rip your pockets.
yeah. Oh, they definitely ripped my pockets. That entire build ripped my pockets. Because I went to a lot of trouble, like for the detail inside, and
Mhm.
you know, does it upset me that people don't really get to see the detail?
Mhm.
Not really. If someone wants to see the detail, they can always go back to the video that I did on
Right,
that tower, and they can see it in full.
right,
So
right. Yeah. So
yeah,
I mean, you displaying it, definitely. Another one of your magnificent builds was the Grand Hotel, and I like that a lot of people are closed minded. Like a lot of Lego people, we're closed minded. So you're like, oh, I'll never use friends, man. You crazy. It's a lot of good stuff, and you
there's some
use
good
this
shit there.
friends. There's a lot of good stuff, yeah, and even like the drug boat, like that you made,
Yeah,
and you got a lot of '80s characters on that drug boat as well. Um, it's a friends theme. So if you're a Lego fan, you're a Lego fan. So tell us about this build that you got here.
yeah. Well, my daughters wanted somewhere that their Lego friends minifigs could live while visiting the city.
Hmm.
So I took it upon myself to build a hotel for it. So Lego Friends had released the Grand Hotel.
Yeah.
I saw it straight away. I thought, all right, I need to buy three of them,
Hmm.
which I did, and put a few Bricklink orders in on top of that, and
Uh-huh.
that was the outcome. A Lego Friends Grand Hotel that
Uh-huh.
ticked all the boxes of what I needed. Um, I thought it hit the brief pretty well. So
Right.
of what I wanted it to do, and
Right.
yeah, I was pretty happy with it.
Awesome deal, man. Awesome deal. So this is one of the your beginning builds of the fire station. Now it's much more elaborate now, but tell us about this fire station that you made.
Um, well, that one there, I basically that was that one there actually took me probably about 40-50 minutes to build.
Hmm.
Um, I've got a certain way I design a mock in my head, just purely from scratch, and
Hmm.
you can clearly see it with the way the hospital looks and the way the fire station looks. That there's a very modern feel to a lot of the HQs.
Right.
Um, like it's now the hospital. I can't take all credit because it literally is a hospital from Lego City.
Hmm. Hmm.
The Lego City set, very much is an inspiration for this hospital that you see. But the hospital that's an older photo of the hospital. I've got a new. Um, Obviously, I've done some changes to it since then, but yeah, the hospitals and the fire station I'm really proud of because they're very big builds that look absolutely small in my city, and that's just purely because everything in my city looks big. Um,
Hmm.
like there's some very big buildings in the city that make builds like that look quite small.
Yeah.
Um, so Dub actually noticed that the first time he looked at the city. He went, Jesus! Um, he never thought that those builds were actually as big as what they were.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are. They're big builds.
So you even modded out the hospital set, and it looks much more cleaner when you modded it out.
Yeah, so I basically put the maternity ward above the ambulance ramp.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, I wanted to really flesh out the helicopter pad as well. So I did all that. Beg your pardon. And it worked all well. It worked really well. I'm really happy with the hospital. It's exactly what I wanted it to be for the city. So yeah.
Right. Awesome deal. So then you also think about like even like your city makeup as well. You got the colorful buildings, you got the McDonald's, you got the little
Mm.
in and out burger places in your city.
Yeah, so I've got the McDonald's obviously in the city. The McDonald's isn't my build. It's
Mhm.
I forget who did it. Some mob that took 3 months to deliver it to me and did
Yeah.
you know did a terrible job. Um, in the end, I ended up having to fix it up quite a bit because what was sent out to me wasn't exactly what was on the ticket.
Hmm.
So yeah, it is what it is, but it's all part of the learning process.
Oh yeah, indeed, indeed, man, indeed. So this is now you kind of changed this thing around like 3 times, right? Your parking terminal here. You
Yeah,
changed around 3 times, right?
that's the second time that I
Hmm.
changed it,
Hmm.
where I really fixed it up, and it stayed like that for the majority of its lifespan in the city,
Hmm.
until it basically became too much of a hindrance, taking up 48 by 32.
Hmm.
So I remember always telling Dub that I absolutely hate the fact that it takes up a 48 by 32, and I really need it to take up a 32 by 32.
Hmm.
Um, he just kept on laughing because obviously it's a lot of work,
Yeah.
um, which I took on board. Did it when I was on break over Christmas, and there you go. I've got a 32 by 32 parking garage now in the city.
Right. Yeah, I guess he knew that eventually to aggravate you enough that you would actually go in and go do something about it. That's probably why he was teasing you a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I seen this video for this Arkham Asylum. I seen it and it's very awesome. This thing, like the base of this thing it looks heavy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's heavy or not, but it looks like the
Bro,
base of this
it's
thing
heavy.
looks heavy.
It's a heavy build. It's a heavy build. It's it's a build that I originally planned to have it on a 32 by 32.
Hmm.
I got really pissed off when it spread over. I was doing my best to keep it as tight as possible
Hmm.
in the 32 by 32 constraint.
Hmm.
It ended up taking 32 by 48. Um, by taking up 32 by 48, I just sat there thinking, you know what? That means I can have a prison yard now. So I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
So I just put a prison yard in and I worked around it.
Hmm. Yeah, folks. If you haven't seen this one, this you definitely go back and on Ozzie Bricks YouTube channel and pull this Arkham Asylum up. It's definitely an awesome build. All right, so here's your the evolution of your city just coming up here. All right, let's see. All right, we get into Bones' favorite. We get into the police station. He's been nagging all day in the chat about the police station. So, tell us about your vision for this police station.
Well, the vision originally was that I was going to have it over. Um, what was it going to be? It was going to be roughly about a 128 by 48, something like that,
Hmm.
um, or by 64.
Hmm.
Um, and I basically decided, no, that's going to be too big.
Hmm.
And the reason why I was going to do 128 was I was going to have it go over a road. So
Hmm.
it was basically going to um, be kind of like a tunnel over a road where the civilian population could drive underneath the police station as well.
Oh, okay, okay.
Um, and I was going to have the ramps for the police cars on the sides
Hmm.
of the road. Um, and I'm still kind of upset that I didn't follow that dream through. But in the end, I thought, no, you know what? I've got a 64 by 64 spot right now, and I
Hmm.
reckon that would look really good with the police station. So I started building. Um,
Right.
I just gotten a lug bulk order in, my first and only lug bulk order I've ever gotten
Okay.
with a lug,
Hmm.
and I ordered a bunch of trans light blue 1 by 5 by 6,
Okay.
and yeah, that's why you see so many of them. They're right there in that photo.
Yeah, I gotta I gotta confess, man, that that piece. It's probably one of the most expensive pieces. Learned the hard way.
Well, I was lucky. I had a little bit of help.
Hmm.
I had my lug bulk going through, and when I ran out, James was kind enough to send me some pieces as well, just to help me.
Right, keep it
So,
going.
yeah, so James sent me a few pieces, and just to finish off the build, so I wouldn't have to do another Bricklink order. So yeah, I owe him big.
Yeah, James is a good dude. He's a good dude. All right. So now it's definitely involved. You're up and running here.
Hmm.
And this thing is very massive. I know because I got one just like it. But it's massive. It is. It's huge, and I think that's why I appreciate it, because it's not one of your regular builds. I think this thing. I want to say this thing is probably bigger than. It's probably bigger than in two Ninjago cities put together. It's still bigger. Like
Hmm.
this, the width of it. I think the width of it should be the width and the length of it. Um, you could probably put two of them back to back, and this thing still be just as wide. And like I said, Ozzy tells a lot of stories in his builds. Inside, he has a movable, like the doors move for the jail cell inside of the prison part of the police station, and there's all types of stories that are going on inside of this massive build.
Yeah, there's definitely stories in there. They're best to be checked out with the video though. But I don't know if you got any still photos of some of those stories, but yeah,
I got I got the clean ones. I got the clean ones. I got the clean ones.
oh, I know the one you're talking about now.
Yeah, yeah, man. That was my favorite one, man. I said, "Oh shoot, you got," yeah, because you don't really think about stuff like that. That's how you get in. I know that you get into character when you build your builds, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It helps.
There's some real Oz. I would say that was a good prison series. Oz. That was a real good prison series.
It was
So you
good.
can build
That
Oz.
was a good prison season, series for the first season. After that,
Yeah.
it got a bit ridiculous. But yeah, it was good for the first season.
Yeah. So you got you got the helicopters up top. You got the Chinook and the which one they call that one?
Sikorsky.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot the name of that. Um, and so and then you got the airport control tower there too. So I mean, it's more your elaborate builds here for the city.
Yeah, well, because I had so many airport sets, um, I, I I had all these extra pieces for an airport control tower.
Hmm.
So I just went, yeah, why not? So
Right, right.
why not? So I just put it there, and yeah, it looks good. It looks good there. So um,
Yeah.
yeah, it works.
Right, there's another shot of that, and he placed it down into his city, and you can see that it is a cornerstone, one of the cornerstones of his city, and it looks very massive as well. Now, all doors and everything is fully functional. That's what you definitely want to go back and take a look at the video he posted. Um, it's all doors. It's a total functional facility. Um,
Yeah, exactly. So even internal,
mhm,
it's fully functional. So
mhm.
I'm really happy about that. I like the fact that I think Zany said it once that, um, and it really stuck with me when he said it, that he likes to go to bed at night and turn off the lights and think that his Lego figures can walk around and go to the toilet and do things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's yeah, that stuck with me. Every time I build, I sit there thinking, okay, well, yeah, I've got to add these features.
Right. Definitely the best ones. Like I said, here's a shot of some of the action, and this was my favorite scene here. Is some of the shots that some of the action that the stories that Ozzy tells inside of his builds. Here you have, the super elite SWAT team, handling business inside the one of the processing parts of the build.
Yeah, I think on the other side of that would be the jails. So they're just about to put him into the jail cell, and he's trying to fight back. Now that person there, I modeled that sig fig. That's
Hmm.
actually someone's sig fig. So, someone had actually said that I talk very boringly in all my Lego City updates. Um, so I basically said, well, you should try making some videos and then get back to me. And he wrote some other smart ass comment after that, and I just went, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put your sig fig and I'm gonna get him arrested in my.
Fuel to the fire, man. Be careful what you say. You might, what they say, you might get posterized. He definitely got posterized.
So yeah, his sig fig is forever getting arrested in my police station. So
So tell us what part of the bill we're looking at now.
right there, that would be one of the um, processing parts right at the top where I believe that connects up with jail cells on
Hmm.
the same level. So um, that would be where highway patrol and people like that would go up and process the crims and send them out, um, for further questioning through the elevator to the
Hmm.
detectives or whatever, or send them down into the jails.
Gotcha, gotcha. And see, that's one thing too, is that you even thought about was you see right here, one of the levels that you got. You even thought about the elevator as well. And a lot of people that, I mean, a lot of builds, you don't even see steps nor elevators.
Yeah, so like sometimes, look, I got to admit as well, like sometimes I don't even do that.
Hmm.
But with this build, because it was all glass, it
Hmm.
was important to do it.
Hmm.
Because if I didn't do it, it was going to look shit. So I just thought, nah, I better do it. Otherwise, it's not gonna look very good. So
Hmm.
I went to the trouble of doing it, making sure still looked good. Um, I had an army of criminals from all the Lego City sets I'd bought over the years. And
Hmm.
again, if you think of the back catalogue of Lego City sets from 2010 all the way,
Hmm.
I had so many criminals I didn't know what to do with them. So one of the other main reasons I needed a police station this big was I needed somewhere to put them. So
Yeah, yeah,
so
man, yeah. Save you money too, because you already had them, so you didn't have to go out and go
exactly,
searching and go buy them. Because
exactly,
that's quite a fortune. And with figs can set you back $5.
exactly. So that you can see there's different style of criminal figs there from all
Hmm.
the different years. So it's not just one type of fig throughout the entire time. They're all different styles.
Yeah. So here, explain what we're looking at right here.
So right there's the motor pool, and above the motor pool, you've got basically dispatch.
Hmm.
Dispatch just above there,
Okay.
um, and like in the motor pool, that the motor pool itself houses 6 cars comfortably.
Hmm.
Um, sorry, tight 6 cars,
Six
four
cars. Okay.
cars, 4 cars very comfortably.
Okay.
And when I say 4 cars, I mean really big cars.
Right.
I'm not talking about your standard Lego City cars.
Right.
Um, there's a Pepsi machine in there. Um, there's a fuel bowser in there.
Hmm.
Um, we've got a few tools there as well and stuff like that. But on the left, that's where the prison is. So you can see this big grey thing there, and it just you know, and that's the prison. Um, and it was important to me that I included the Lego City play features in there, so you can see that the the toilet in the prison actually opens up,
Hmm.
so that prisoners can escape. So I wanted to include those features.
Right.
That Lego had gone to so much trouble when they had to release that original police station that I first built, coming out of the Dark Ages.
Okay. Okay. So, like I said before, it's definitely total functional. I mean, you hit the mark with that. You know, you got parts that move, and I mean, it's to a point. It's playable. You know, it's playable. So, and
Yeah,
it's got the.
not
Mhm.
many, not many of my builds are playable, but this one, it was important to me that it was playable.
Mhm.
Um, as a kid, I remember when I used to play with my Lego City, they didn't build criminals back then.
Okay.
Um, so I'd nominate a fig, and I go, right, this fig's going to pull a police chase. He's going to steal from the motorbike shop, and the police are going to catch him. And I'd actually give the fig a prison sentence, and it'll be like 3 weeks in the jail, and I'd actually leave the fig in there for 3 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And so I got full on into it. Like I got it full on into the stories in my mind and everything. So
Yeah.
it was an escape for me. So I definitely, it was important to me that I kept those playable features because I remembered how much fun I had as a kid with it. So
Right. Right.
yeah,
All right. See, and what I like about this build is that you can see, you know, without even like taking anything apart, you can actually see everything inside. Like with this lobby and everything, you see the figs, you know, actually live life inside of this build. And there's
yeah,
the Star Wars invasion right there.
yeah. There's no hiding it. Like
Yeah.
you gotta yeah. The problem with a fish tank type build is
Uh-huh.
you can't hide anything.
Right.
So you better flesh it out with some interior.
Hmm.
Um, so I wanted to make it as light as possible. So one part of the police station is very modern,
Hmm.
which is obviously the expansion of the police
Hmm.
station due to the massive crime problem in my city.
Hmm.
And the other part of the police station is very old school, and that's purely because it was built in years before, and all of a sudden it had to change with the times. So they kept the prison exactly the same, but the rest of the police station was updated.
Right. Right.
So that was the idea behind it. Because if you go to a police station nowadays, it's very rare that it's completely from new foundations. It's they're renovations. Like they're basically an old police station that they've renovated. It's
Hmm.
very very rare, no matter where you go, that it's a completely new police station.
Right.
Uh, so, yeah, that was the thought behind uh, why I designed it the way I did.
Definitely hit the mark, man. I mean, you definitely never seen anything so elaborate outside the Avengers Tower. And you definitely, I mean, it's every police officer's dream to look at this thing. So, you know, you definitely hit the mark on it. So this is what your city looks like today. You
Well,
see?
with tiles, yeah. With the
Oh,
yellow tiles now.
oh yeah, with the yellow
So
tiles. Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, but definitely, yeah, it's a lot cleaner today.
Hmm.
It's a lot there's a lot more organization to it. So I'm really happy about where the city is right now, and I'm
Hmm.
excited to see where it goes as well. So
Okay. Okay. Yeah, some of that yellow talent on the side right there looks like you started it. You started it, but I mean you finished now. You finished the curb appeal.
well, there's roughly about I'm about 89% complete at the
Hmm.
moment. So, yeah, the yellow tile is about just nearly finished.
Okay. Tell us about the Imperial Immigration Center.
Yeah, so the Imperial Immigration Center, because I'm such a custom fig collector, I collect things like Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton and all that, and everyone
Mm-hmm.
knows Donald Trump wants to build a wall. So I
Mm-hmm.
figured, you know what? I've got a Chima problem in my city, where people where people keep wanting to send me Chima, um, and people actually mail Chima to me. Um, so my issue is that I need to have an immigration center that's going to full time be dedicated to fighting the scourge of Chima. So that's what
Mm-hmm.
the Imperial Immigration Center is all about. So it's an imperial base
Uh-huh.
that stops immigration of Chima into the city.
Just ship them out, man. Ship them out.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Bones was asking about the Chima. He said you didn't have enough in there. He's got his Chima fix for the day. Oh man. Yeah, man. Definitely definitely elaborate city, man. One of a kind. Definitely one of a kind there. It's a good layout there. All right. So folks, Ozzy do, from time to time visit the Lego store. He doesn't just sit in front of his laptop or, he's not a homebody at all. In his busy time, he'll find some time to go down to the Lego store. This is a photo of Ozzy at the Lego store. Now,
That's actually
I
Toys
know
R
that.
Us.
Oh, that's a Toys R Us?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
my
in
question
Sydney.
was, oh yeah, I see it in the background. Oh yeah, that's a Toys R Us. Yeah, well, at least you
Yeah,
shop smart. You ain't, because discounts is everything. When you got a hobby like that, though.
yeah,
Um,
exactly, exactly.
what's the deal with the Nexo Knight? I know you and Nexo Knights don't get along, right?
No, no, me and Nexo Knights are fine. It's me and
Yeah,
Chima that don't get
Chima.
along.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, this is Chima.
yeah, yeah. I don't mind Nexo Knights. I don't know why all the hate for Nexo Knights. I don't get it. But yeah, it's Chima that I hated, and that's purely because Chima was the reason why Ultra Agents disappeared off the shelves. And I loved Ultra Agents. Like that was a really cool theme. So yeah,
In the in the chat. So you got CKB, of course, Bones, and
yeah. We got Bones, CKB, John Brickman. We got
mhm,
No More Dub, uh, and the Bearded Brick. Um, so yeah, we all get along. We all sit there chatting on a regular basis. Every now and then, life gets in the way, but
right.
we all somehow find each other again. Um, it's just it's one of those things, like even if life gets in the way, you just all of a sudden you just pick up where you left off
Right, right.
exactly where you were like 2 months before. It's like
Uh,
nothing ever changes. So it's yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a good crew. We all get along.
mhm,
We've all got the same sense of humor. So
mhm.
yeah,
Good deal, man. Good deal, man. Like I said, you're definitely a '80s advocate, and I like that you incorporate that into today's builds as well. Anywhere from anybody from youth to adult will understand, some of your builds because you put something like, GI Joe. You got some of these, a lot of these, '80s characters in inside your
Mm.
builds.
Yeah. So the GI Joes, geez, they cost a pretty penny. Um, yeah, I think I paid like $33 USD for each fig.
Wow,
So
wow,
yeah, a decent. It was a decent investment, that one.
yeah,
Um, I use the term investment very lightly. Yeah. Um, but it was good though. It was
yeah.
good. I felt like I ticked the box the moment I got them all. So
That's
yeah,
that's good, man. Yeah, man, that's good. Like I said, you definitely, like if it's a hobby you love, man, price money shouldn't be an object. You get it for the happiness that it gives you.
exactly.
All right, and I love this saying, "Be a Richard, not a dick." Spirit Particles, shout out to Spirit Particles. Now, this is the first time I actually seen this billboard, like this billboard here, and
Yeah, a lot. You know
hmm
what? Spirit Particles. Like she made that billboard and sent it out to me.
hmm
And as far as I know, I know Zany had one. at one
Hmm.
stage, and but as far as I know, I think I'm the only person with the city update that actually shows it regularly.
Yeah,
Um, and I just think it's fantastic. I think it's an it's an awesome billboard. It's an awesome looking billboard. It's an awesome idea. The Be a Richard, not a dick. It's
yeah.
just it's fantastic. I just think it's awesome. And every time I go to a Lego show and I'm displaying, I actually take that billboard with me, and
Ah,
it's good. It's good. I put it up on display, and you get a few parents pointing at it and laughing. Every now and then
mhm.
you'll get one precious wannabe um, saying "How dare you" in front of the children. Um, you know, you know, the people that normally do that are probably the same people that touch children. So
Right, right,
yeah, it's
right.
you know
Shout out to that Turtles van in the city, man. Shout out to the Turtles, man.
hey, that Turtles van goes hard. It's good.
Yeah, man, it does, man. I got one. I acquired one from my buddy Jeff Bot. Bot. He gave me one, man, for Christmas. So I appreciate that turtle van. Um, so you got good dudes here, man. Your comrades here, man. So how'd you link up? How'd you link up with Dub, man? How'd you find that dude?
Um, I didn't. He was on YouTube, and
Mm-hmm.
I basically hit him up and I said, "Look, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Look, I've got um, 25 containers full of Lego,
Mm-hmm.
um, but I haven't built a Lego city yet." And he said, "Well, get onto it." He goes, "I'm dying to see what you got." And so I started doing it, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, he was the one who egged me on to start doing videos and stuff like that. So I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
even be on YouTube. I wouldn't even be on Instagram if it wasn't for Dub. Um, I came up with the name Aussie Bricks. I ran it past him. He said, "Yeah, it sounds good," and away I went. And because I'm my own person, I don't. Dub does Dub really well.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that you go to if you're after anything with Star Wars or um, very family friendly. Whereas I can't pretend that I'm family friendly. Um, I
Right.
I can't I can't be that person. I can't I'm not wired that way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bullshitting if I'm doing that. So um, instead, I just keep it real. I let everyone know who I am. If I offend everyone along the way, hey, doesn't matter. You know, I'm
Right.
having a great time. So, so
And,
it's all.
and I think that's what I like about you. You have to be, and that's what it is. We're gonna offend people. Every day you wake up, you're gonna offend somebody. And I think if you're not comfortable in your own skin, and that's what I like about you, you're comfortable in your own skin. If you're not comfortable in your own skin, you're not being you. You're not being true to yourself.
Yeah,
And so, and I like the fact that you keep it real. I like the fact that James keep it real. And there's no cut cards with any of you guys, and I can appreciate that.
yeah. Look, at the end of the day, um, no, it's just people banding around the plastic. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, it's just a piece of plastic. That's all it is. But along the way, I didn't sit there thinking I was going to make friends with anyone. I just do it for my own therapy.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm glad I have. I'm definitely glad I have, because it's not like I can sit there telling um, the people that I am very good friends with outside of Lego, um, you know, about the hobby, because um, there's quite a lot of stigma and judgment when it comes to that. Um,
Yeah.
especially in my circle of friends. So, um, you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't. So,
Hmm.
but along the way, I've found a group of friends that none of us are precious. None of us are scared of getting wet.
Hmm.
We don't feel like we're going to melt every time water hits us.
Right.
You know, we've got a thick skin. The entire group of us. A lot of people wouldn't think it, but Dub does actually have a really thick skin.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Poor bloke cops probably more abuse than most people. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and that's just purely because of the amount of followers and who he is as a personality. Um,
Hmm.
but you know, completely undeserved that he cops it all, but he can take it. And mind you, you know, I think everyone in the crew that I'm friends with can take it. You know,
Hmm.
takes a
Hmm.
special type of person to be able to put yourself out there and take all the criticism that you get on YouTube and social media and everything, and you know, live to come back another day.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, and especially since I like putting myself out there as a target.
Hmm.
I do like it. I kind of egg it on, you know, like the post on Instagram where I lost a whole bunch of subscribers because of the Logan Paul post that I
Hmm.
did. That was fantastic. That made my day. That made my day. I
Right.
had I had 52 comments in under like 10, 12 minutes, and people were tagging me to Logan Paul
Uh-huh.
saying check this guy out, you know, and it made my day. I was just like, this is fantastic. Like there's all these like tweens that are really upset that I'm bagging out a
Right.
douchebag, you know, like I took a photo with a dead body. Um, you know, like for some reason I was the asshole. Uh,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
But
so I
it's
like,
like you said,
yeah,
you gotta be yourself. If you're not, like the family thing, and the family fun friendly, and uh, you're like a Heineken, you're acquired taste. So you got to acquire that taste for a Heineken, because the Heineken is a bitter beer. It's
mm,
bitter. It's not sweet. It's not sweet at all. So it's an acquired taste.
yeah,
So it's you stand out when you become an acquired taste, and that ain't
yeah,
a bad thing. That ain't a bad thing at all. You being you. So
yeah. Well, I can see James is still here, so he's definitely not doing his part to protect the country. So
now, yeah, yeah, he's
yeah,
trying to rush us along.
yeah, he's trying to get everyone out so they can go
so
home. Uh,
so I got one more question for you before I let you off the ice box.
yeah.
So you're in your Lego room, you're immersed in your work, right? You're immersed in it, and you look up, and there's a doorway just magically appear, and it's light underneath the door. So you go to open the door, and you see your younger self that used to play with Lego. You're sitting at the kitchen table. You're back at the old home again. What do you walk over and say to that young Ozzy?
Um, Keep your head down, it all gets better.
All right, all right, all right. Awesome deal, man. Awesome deal, man. Awesome deal. Hey man, I just
Yeah.
wanna thank you for being an inspiration, man. Like I said, a lot of people know that yeah, I copy some stuff, and so definitely one of the things I copied was the police station, because I was infatuated with the police station. And I
Yeah.
wanted to thank you for setting that mark for all of us, man, for all of us, everybody, and just being a friend, man, and being you, being that Heineken, that acquired taste, what separates you from everybody else. And like I said, not pulling any cut cards is what made you you.
Mm,
And your circle of friends are your circle of friends, and they're always going to remain through the thick and thin. Um,
yeah.
but I want to thank you for being a friend and being that inspiration here in this Lego community, or this web community that we call a community. I want to
No,
thank
no
you
problem.
for that.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me.
Awesome deal. Awesome deal. Hey, folks, if you're just tuning in, my guest this morning, or this evening, I should say, was Ozzie Bricks, the infamous Ozzie Bricks. Definitely go back, take a look at this video, or better yet, don't take it from me. Find out yourself. Go to the man's YouTube channel and look through those videos. He has a library of mocks that you need to look at. You need to look at that stuff. It's a one-man show, and you definitely need to look. But don't take my word for it. With that, I bid you love, peace, and Lego. You guys have a good night, good morning.